Hey folks, it's the Red, and welcome back to Let's Play Balloon Kid. This is going to be the final part, as we only have a few stages left to go, so let's get right through it. On we go to Stage 6, the Northern Sea. So right off the bat, we're going to have some penguins flying across the screen. Talk about a cool reception. Because, yeah, we're in an icy stage. Try and fly a little low so that the penguins don't actually hit your balloons. But not too low, because there's going to be one down there as well. And then once we reach this platform here, it's time to let go of our balloons, because now we're going into a purely run-and-jump platforming section. Some fires will be running across the ground, and we just have to jump over them. But bear in mind that we do have some rather slippery controls. This is not like running and jumping in a Mario game or something like that. Because we also have ice physics to deal with as well, in addition to bouncing against walls and stuff. And over here, we've got ourselves a big jump ahead. Wait until the other platform appears at the left side, and then jump all the way across. There is very little room for error there. Also, kind of curious placement about the fire right over the water there. I mean, even if that fire wasn't there and you jumped in that direction, you'd just die anyway because there's water there. Hello, walrus. Right, let's try it again. See, yeah, the fire is right over the water, so why would you ever go in that direction anyway? I don't get it. Oh well. Just for show, I guess. Careful of the icicles, do a low jump here, and yeah, as we just saw, the walrus is instant death, so we'll just jump over you and just carry on. Up here we have a Game Boy minigame, and if we want to play it, then we need to bounce off of this 500 bumper. Very tricky, that one. Now, quickly blow up a couple of balloons before the pipe balloons start coming out. Because, yeah, they're going to be coming out even faster than before, and we don't have a lot of time to get to them. I would appreciate if they would stop going to opposite ends of the pipes. The one constant that I've noticed while playing this minigame is that no pipe ever puts out two balloons back to back. They will always appear out of a different pipe. Not sure how useful that information is, but there it is. Oh god, they're going to opposite ends again. I think that's the last one. Yep, and there's our one-up. Whew, that is a tough one, let me tell you. Now up ahead, we're going to start having some giant snowflakes that, once we pass under them, they will also fall, similar to those icicles from earlier. Watch out for them. There's going to be 3 of them in a row here, so we're going to want to move kind of quickly to get to these balloons. And then drop down onto this log for a free ride. It'll take us down to a extra life, so that automatically makes it worth the trip, and then pop this balloon to make a P-balloon appear. Now that it's sped up, we can kind of ride the log along the way as well. We'll blow up another balloon once we have time to do so. Oh, well, that was quick. But yeah, having invincibility for this part definitely helps, because there's a lot of icicles and a lot of walruses along the way. Definitely makes life easier. Too bad it doesn't last a little longer. Don't hang around here on the ground for too long, because you never know when a walrus might just pop out and start making its way towards you. Also, a lot of penguins in the area. You're going to need to watch out for them as well. Letting go of the balloon so we can run down here and get ourselves another extra life. Ooh. Yeah, be careful, or this ice might just give you the slip. Right up here, we're going to have ourselves another Game Boy minigame. Yeah, this is another one with 2 in the same stage. Will we luck out again and get another life? Let's find out. Well, that one was right where I was standing, so that's a good start. Sometimes it winds up being... I do often wish that the balloons wouldn't be at opposite ends of the screen, but at the same time, I feel like it's just as troublesome when they're right next to each other, because then I have to stop my momentum in midair instead of off the side of the screen. So basically, these later Game Boy minigames get to be quite troublesome indeed. I suppose it's to be expected. We're nearing the end of the game after all, so one-ups have to be harder to get. But now we're about to approach our next boss, and honestly, this one's not going to be tough at all. Hello, Gem. We'll catch up to you in a bit. So, at this point, they stopped getting creative with the names. This boss is literally just called Snowman. And the general strategy here is to fly way up into the air and make him throw his helmet, his little bucket helmet, at you so that you can drop down and jump on his head. The bucket will kill you, and that's the only thing here that can kill you. Kinda gutsy for a boss to have no bottomless pits anywhere in its battle arena. So, yeah, Snowman, really not much of an issue. And that's pretty much the end of this level. It is kind of tricky getting through all these sections, with a lot of it being only run and jump, with a lot of big jumps are necessary, and just generally flying around here with all the penguins makes things really difficult in this stage. It's very clear they want you dead at this point. But there we go, we're through that stage, and now we're on to stage 7, the cave. So this stage is pretty short, but also quite hard. You're going to notice a lot of spikes all over the place. Those ones that just fell off the top of the ceiling, they would kill you instantly, so definitely watch out for them. There's also going to be a lot of enemies obstructing our path that we're also going to need to watch out for. And fire, as usual. For once, I feel like it makes sense in the setting that it's being used in. Now, these spikes along the bottom of the ground here, those will also kill you instantly, so make sure you don't land on those. Also, curiously, instead of a floppy fish, we have a giant frog that's swimming around in the water in this stage, so it functions basically the same way, so watch out for it. But yeah, a lot of enemies flying around in this area like bats. They like to circle around the balloons, making it much harder to get your balloon completion. Ugh. Oh. Yeah, case in point, the stalactites will kill you if they land on you. And these bats are quite annoying for trying to get to the balloons, because they circle around and they'd like to bump you around all over the place and sometimes send you up into the ceiling spikes. The trick here is to move quickly through this area, but carefully so that you don't accidentally rub your face all over sharp, pointy death. There's a lot here that you have to watch out for, so you have to fly rather carefully. The spiders as well, you can't really land on them, so just kind of have to hope that they don't get in the way. Watch out for this one, it explodes into several spikes, and I have no idea how my balloon did not break there. Wow. These bats right here, circling around the balloons, but also around all these spikes, I almost never get through that section without taking a hit. Now, quickly move past these two rocks and then fly up to the hole they came from, because there's another Game Boy minigame up there. Pretty sneaky placement. So this being the last one in the game, the balloons are moving at their fastest speed here. I think I've only ever completed this minigame once. Because, yeah, there's not a whole lot of time before they reach the top of the screen. Ugh. Which means that if you get a lot of balloons going to opposite ends of the screen again, there's pretty much no chance of you winning this one. Oh, don't want that. Ugh. Get it, get it, get it, get it! Oh! Probably should have gone to the side of the screen there, but oh well, I felt like we did pretty well there. It would be nice if the balloons had extra score value in these later bonus rounds, because popping them is a lot harder. Watch out for the bats around here. Ugh. Cutting it kind of close there. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that one. But yeah, It is a pretty tough stage, but also a pretty short one. That last balloon that was being circled by that last mat, if you broke it, then a extra life heart would have appeared there, but I didn't manage to get that one, alas. But I've got 22 lives, I'm not too worried about it. So yeah, a lot of spikes, a lot of dangerous things, a lot to watch out for. Definitely need to make sure you're bringing your A game for that stage, but now we come to the final stage in the game, the secret base. So, as you might expect, the most difficult challenges of this stage were saved for the last one. Here we're going to have some oil drums that are shooting fire straight up. Wait until it all retracts at once like that. Not sure how that works, but once it does, you can fly across and then watch out for these turbines. Flying into them will make your balloons pop, but you yourself will just bounce against them. Not sure how that makes sense, but there you go. We're also going to have some more platforming segments, similar to how we did in Stage 6, but I do like to blow up a single balloon to clear this gap here, because, well, you bounce against the walls, and that can be kind of dangerous. Then go ahead and blow yourself up a couple more balloons, and get ready for some more flying around these turbines. Once again, keep your balloons safe. Don't worry too much about yourself. Well, I mean, do worry about yourself. I mean, just keep your balloons alive, and they'll keep you alive. That's what I'm basically trying to say here. Just try and get through quickly, and once you reach the conveyor belt, go ahead and release your balloons, because we're about to make another big jump here. Into a narrow gap in the wall. It's just high enough that your highest jump will get you up there. Go ahead and grab this heart and we'll go on down, but don't blow yourself up any balloons just yet, because we've got some more platforming shenanigans going on here. As we now have pistons. Once they reach that springy bit at the top, they come crashing down to try and crush you. But the thing is, I don't find these things to be all that threatening, because as long as you stay at the front of the screen, by the time they reach the top, you'll have already cleared them and be on your way to the next challenge. But don't go too far ahead, because then you might accidentally go into that fire that's somehow not scrolling with the conveyor belt. Hey, I don't make the rules of the physics around here, I just roll with it. Now, up ahead, we're going to have 3 more fires in a row. Once you see the third one, go ahead and jump over it. That way you can safely land on this platform without over-jumping it. Again, do yourself some favors wherever you can. These oil drums will shoot out 4 spike balls once you pass under them. Do watch out. Maintain a safe elevation down here, and they shouldn't be too much of a threat to you either. Now we have some spike platforms and also some claws down below that if you fly into them, they'll hold you in place while the spike platform comes down to try and pop your balloons. Those claws are actually a reference to one of Nintendo's old toys before they became a video game developer. They like to reference their history like that, and I think that's pretty neat. Now, up ahead, we're going to start having some yellow bulbs. They are not part of the background. That if you fly into them, it will cause a spark to appear, so watch out for that. As well as the fireball down below, which is going to stay on screen even beyond that part. But then also watch out for the sparks flying along here. This part can be a little nerve-wracking, not gonna lie. Ugh. Because, yeah, things like that can happen. Honestly, I would probably consider this the most difficult part of the level, because navigating between these sparks in such a narrow space is quite difficult, but there we go. Now, go ahead and release your balloons here and wait for the next wave of sparks to pass, and then you can jump across and get yourself another extra life. Then once we get on this conveyor belt, we can blow ourselves up another balloon. And I think that's all we're going to have time for, because, yeah, that conveyor belt is going to drop you off into the fire before you have time to blow up another one. But this is the final stretch here, so we'll just ride this down here and drop straight into the fire. Brilliant. Okay. Well, we're basically at the end anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. So we'll just go down onto this platform, go ahead and release our balloon. and get ready to face the final challenge of the game. The most dreaded of tasks. Taking out the trash! Okay, actually, it's a robot, made from a trash can. I'm not sure what the deal is, but here's my general strategy. Wait for it to open its mouth, then jump to the opposite end. After it shoots its sparks out, jump on its head. Very important that you not jump across before he opens his mouth, because he can turn around and then shoot the sparks towards you. That's the general strategy here, is to get him to shoot his sparks away from you. And this boss also requires you to jump on him 5 times instead of 3. The horror. But generally, this guy can be kind of tricky, but when you know what to do, he's not too much of a problem. And at last, we've reached the end. Jim flies away into the next room, and now we can go after him. That was stage 8 finished, and that is the game beaten. That last stage, boy, it is a doozy. Lots of fire, lots of sparks, lots of just danger in general. It definitely lives up to its reputation as a final stage. But with that, we are done with the game, and now it's time for the ending. I guess Jim's balloons finally ran out of helium, and he was able to come down to the ground, and he seems pretty happy about it. And Alice is going to carry him back by his ears, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's basically the end of the game. That was Balloon Kid. Congratulations! Alright, so as the credits roll, I guess I'll talk about what I think of the game. So, for as short as this game is, it's actually a pretty fun romp. It's like I said at the beginning of this series, it's basically like if you took the concept of Balloon Fight and turned it into an adventure mode. And the different levels and the settings that you go through are all really interesting. All the obstacles that you have to avoid make for some really fun and varied gameplay. And one interesting little detail that I forgot to bring up, actually, is how they even have the attention to detail with the number of balloons that you have. See, if you have 2 balloons blown up, you can fly around more easily, but if you only have 1, then you have to mash the button a bit harder in order to gain air more quickly. And it also makes you drop to the ground more quickly. So yeah, gameplay is pretty fun. The graphics of the game are also all very nice. I like how everything looks. And the music is really well composed. One of my favorite tracks, of course, being the theme of Pennsylvania, which is a really underrated original soundtrack in my opinion, much like the game as a whole. But like I said, it is a really short game. You could probably play through this whole thing in like 30 minutes. But that's the beauty of portable gaming. You can pop it out, play through a few levels, and put it away. So yeah, I think this game is a solidly good time. It's definitely worth looking into if you enjoyed Balloon Fight or the concept of Balloon Fight or old games like Joust. But with that, we appear to have about come to the end of the credits here. It ends with a balloon bird bumping into Alice and making her drop her brother into the open ocean. The end! Thanks, buddy. But, yeah, that's the end of Balloon Kid. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough, and stick around for an extra video for some other stuff that I want to cover about this game. But until then, this is the Red. See you next game.